A high-stakes standoff in the Charleston beverage industry is heading to federal mediation next week as nearly 50 striking workers enter their 12th week on the picket line. Drivers and warehouse workers at the beverage market unanimously rejected contract concessions they claim will devastate their livelihoods. Our Cassidy Fury has the latest on why negotiations are taking so long and what both sides are fighting for.
For nearly 3 months, the picket line outside of the beverage market owned by Teresa and Marty Johnson in Sissonville has remained active for 24 hours a day. 49 employees rejected an offer that would have massively hiked healthcare costs and slashed retirement and paid time off. William Clark, a driver with 33 years of service, says the negotiation process felt hollow from the start.
They were just kind of surface bargaining, we call it, because they really wasn't trying to reach an agreement and trying to move off anything and couldn't show any kind of laws. So they want us to take all these concessions and go backwards when the company's making money. And, it was pretty ridiculous.
Union representatives say the distributor is extremely profitable and not claiming financial hardship. Yet, instead of compromising, Clark says the company's recent focus has been on armed private security to escort shift breakers delivering products to remaining local accounts.
She don't want to talk about what she's paying the company people either. I mean, she's paying security to follow these trucks, almost $30,000 a week. She could have sold this contract 3 times already.
The union has recently trimmed its demands down to just 3 essential proposals revolving around wages, warehouse locations, and sick leave. In contrast, union attorney Luke Farley says the company's side of the table remains cluttered with an unprecedented number of demands.
We're on strike. The union's down to, a small handful of issues, and the company has over 100 proposals. It's insane.
Farley, who has spent more than 2 decades negotiating contracts in West Virginia, says the beverage market's hostile attitude is completely out of step with competing distributors across the state who are currently settling record-high union agreements.
And then this company, despite not losing money, wants to just take. It's just corporate, it's just greed. There's no other way to describe it. Teresa and Martin Johnson do not care about these employees, and they don't care about the community that this is affecting, because it's not just these employees, it's a ripple effect, right?
Because all 49 workers elected to join the union and strongly support the strike, recent state right-to-work laws have not eroded their solidarity. Farley notes that while a strike takes a severe mental and financial toll on the workers and their families, some issues are simply too important not to fight for.
What we typically tell members is it's not worth striking over, a quarter here, a quarter there. You strike when they want to try to take away your retirement, your benefits. And this is the case here. This is just a classic example of corporate greed versus just regular working people trying to deliver beverages to their customers.
Tensions remain high on the picket line amid outstanding allegations of surveillance and security intimidation. The recent injury of a stationary picketer hit by a distributor truck is currently under investigation by the Kanawha County Sheriff's Office. Striking workers say the long standoff will only end when the owners themselves return to the bargaining table to face their employees directly. The beverage market has not responded to our request for comment at this time. Reporting with WTAP News, I'm Cassidy Fury.